Let me quickly cut across to our panelists joining us for a little more clarity on where could there have been lapses, glaring lapses by the Delhi police. Reena Gupta, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. We also have Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS. Let me start with Yashovardhan Azad. Could you, sir, please highlight for us, in an incident like this, when a case like this comes to light, the police initially, even before they go into depth of the investigation, declaring this as an accident. Is this fair on the family and those people watching this entire incident unfold? Because you have enough and more allegations coming to fore that this could be deliberate attempt to target that girl, that this could have been murder, etc. But the police has dismissed it as accident. 2 days later, almost 2nd of Jan rather, a day later, the police add the culpable homicide angle, knowing very well that those accused knew that they had hit the girl and were trying to escape, dragging her along under the wheels.
You see, when you file a first information report, this is on the basis of the information you get. And initially the reaction would have been that it is an accident, because it can't be called a premeditated attempt to kill, because the accident took place. It was not an intention to hit. But the most serious part, of course, as you already mentioned and showed on your program, is dragging that girl, knowing that this could cause death or very, very severe injuries. So you can say that if a senior officer was there, he could have put homicide murder, but initially it was done. But in any case, in an investigation of a crime which has been instituted, if it has been done in a day, I don't cost. But it's a very, very serious. How long the police take to respond?
I suppose your audio seems to be problematic. We're going to try and patch that. Let me cut across to Reena Gupta. Reena, we see the Aam Aadmi Party stepping up its attack against the Delhi police, the Delhi LG, BJP's attempt, even accusing the BJP attempting to try and shield their neta. That's the narrative that the Aam Aadmi Party has unleashed right from the start of the day, as you all have protested. Where do you feel the Delhi LG has failed or the Delhi police has failed? Take us through. Could you please unmute yourself?
It has been It has been more than 10 years since the Nirbhaya case, and nothing seems to have changed for the women of Delhi. It is the same story being repeated again and again. In this case, an eyewitness called the Delhi police 22 times. 22 times. The eyewitness was following the car in which the girl was being dragged, but the Delhi police failed to act. After that, the Delhi police tried to cover up the incident. They tried to put, the IPC dharas, which are where it's bailable. So they are basically trying to cover up the whole incident because BJP leaders are involved, and it is very clear that no matter what part of the country it is, BJP is always standing with rapists, whether it's the Ankita case in Uttarakhand, whether it's the Unnao case, or whether it's the minister in Haryana. So the BJP
when you say BJP is standing with rapists, you're almost declaring this to be a case of rape when the police have fully ruled out any case of sexual assault here. And speaking of shielding a BJP neta, Manoj Mittal was instantly arrested. He's one of the 5 who was sitting inside the car. He's in police custody. He's not, even if he was, you should credit the police for arresting him.
Nabila, after 22 calls, if the Delhi police fails to act, I am very sorry. I cannot be happy with the fact that the 5 of them, they have been arrested. And the Delhi police, the way it has misbehaved with journalists today, they threw the journalists out. They threw women journalists out of the police station because, again, they are trying to shield these people. It is only after our pressure. Earlier, it is only after a pressure that the case had been registered again in the stricter IPCC dharas. Earlier, what they were trying to do, they were trying to register it under 304A, which is a bailable offence. So, from yesterday, and Delhi police, Ravila, as you very well know, comes under the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. The Lieutenant Governor of Delhi is also been trying to cover up this case. They don't want these people to be put behind bars.
All right, we heard you. We heard you. Yogita Bhayana, who's an activist and tracking the story here. Yogita, where do you feel, Delhi has really not changed ever since the Nirbhaya case? Here you have almost a decade later a similar incident, except this, the angle of sexual assault has been ruled out by the police. The family members insist there is an angle of sexual assault, which the police have refused to admit, at least for the fact that they've not found any evidence to indicate sexual assault. But the fact that there was no police across stretches of Delhi, 15 kilometers, the body was dragged, there's really no police bandobast anywhere that stopped that car, despite a lot of witnesses spotting that car moving with a hanging head. A witness even admitted that on our television. Here the police seem to have failed to spot this vehicle on New Year's Day.
I don't want to, it is very, it's like disrespectful for that soul, who has gone, to say that one person has failed and one department has failed. Every single person or authority or institution has failed this daughter. So we can't just say that police has failed her. The employer, where she was employed as a welcome girl, she was returning midnight after setting up so many SOPs after Nirbhaya, late night workers, people like you and I, we get protection from our offices. But what about this? She was a welcome girl. They are very vulnerable to such kind of sexual harassment and assault. Let me tell you honestly on your channel today, the kind of harassment these women go through, and I'm sure the links are there. So these people are not only, they did not even, not only hit her accidentally, they had planned it. And I'm telling you on records. So they must have spotted her there, and every welcome girl or women working midnight, the mindset of, or the mentality of these boys, especially such brutal boys, is that she's available, and they must have tracked her. They must have planned this, and she was definitely sexually molested. Even if she was not molested, this is not the kind of brutality they have done to her is beyond words.
But Yogita, police ruling out a sexual assault angle because they found no evidence. Does that wash with you? I mean, would you even
look at the photo? Even a layman would say, look at the photo. Even a layman would say there was not even an inch of cloth on her body. How can they rule out sexual assault? First, I think sir is sitting here on your panel. First is to put the rape charges, put the assault charges, and if not proven or not coming in the medical, then they can remove it also. Why are they so protective about, these criminals? Whatever links they have, whatever it is, I mean, this is the time to speak up. I mean, we can't see every year, every day.
A quick word from Richa Pandey as well, spokesperson of the BJP in Delhi. Richa, as we see, the Delhi LG has asked the police not to indulge in any politics, insensitivity of any kind, or try to gain any political mileage out of this. But of course, the blame is on the Delhi police and the Delhi LG. It comes under the Home Ministry, the police itself. Do you think this is a failure on your part?
See, a human life has been lost in such a tragic manner. We all, people of Delhi, we woke up to a new year which was so sad.
All right, we are having trouble with your audio, Richa, if we could fix you. But Yashovardhan Azad, I'm going to come to you on that. Can we rule out a sexual assault angle? The police say that there is no angle to sexual assault because there's no evidence found of that nature. But you have an activist here, the parents of that young girl who died, very clearly claiming that this is a case of sexual assault, not a small inch of cloth on her body. How could that be that the drive itself managed to strip her completely naked?
You see, first of all, Delhi police should not have made any statement about a sexual assault, that whether it has been committed or not been committed. They should have said that the investigation is on, and unless we get the medical post-mortem report, we cannot say anything as of now. So in that respect, there is some sensitivity involved when a woman like this is, sort of crushed, dragged to death in such a perverted manner. It's true that she was found without clothes, and it's also true that it was premeditated in the sense that those 5 perverted animals knew that something is dragged. If you drive a car, you know exactly that something is being dragged. So with that dragging, of course, even the skin had peeled off of the back.
Yeah.
So definitely it was caused because of dragging, and the sexual assault thing could have been here. But right in the beginning, it is very, very difficult to say whether there has been a sexual assault or not.
All right. You know, Mr. Yashovardhan, as we see the accused FIR, in the FIR it says the accused knew that they had committed an accident and they wanted to escape the spot. Now, post that, they were driving around with the girls entangled under their wheels, and they moved about for close to 15 kilometers, an hour and a half. Is this not an absolute case of murder? Even though it was an initial accident, God knows if the girl died when they hit her scooty. She may have died post that, while they were driving about the streets of Delhi trying to get rid of her.
Well, you know, it's a good question. It's a sequence of events. What happened exactly was not exactly premeditated. It's true that they were in inebriated state, and if you are drunk and if you are driving and if something serious like this happens, it is something, you know the consequences of a thing like this. Therefore, the culpable homicide to murder is absolutely correct. But to say that it was a premeditated murder, because murder requires mens rea. Mens rea is the intent and the grave intent. I think that will be a little difficult to prove in this case.
All right, let me cut across to a quick word from Reena. Reena, how is the Aam Aadmi Party going to help the family? We see that you have, all your party workers are there protesting in Sultanpuri and outside the Delhi LG office, but really to what outcome?
Nabila, we'll provide all the help the family needs. But no matter what we do, we cannot compensate for the life that has been lost. She was the only bread earner of the family. She was going out to work so that she could support the family. You know, we are feeling very great that India is hosting the G20 and all of that. If women in Delhi cannot even go out and work, they do not feel safe. As a woman in Delhi, if I don't feel safe, then I'm very sorry. All this G20 and all this is just tamasha. And the point is that Delhi police is the most politicized police department in the country. Right now also what is happening is that Delhi police is trying to protect the BJP leaders. We have no trust in Delhi police. We have no trust in the LG. This needs to be a...
Can I make a point?
Right. Yeah, Yogita, you have 30 seconds. A quick word. Are women safe in the national capital?
Such employees, unorganized sector like her, who was working as a welcome girl, is under Delhi government. Okay, we cannot blame police for everything. Okay, they have placed her here, but to protect her rights to reach home safely, to keep a monitoring on the employers, such employers, make a sexual harassment committee. It is all Delhi government. It is failing our daughters also. It is not only one government, every government.
We've collectively failed, Yogita, point taken. And thank you very much, our panelists, Yogita, Reena and Yashovardhan, for joining us on